Hello and welcome to And Cheese, where today we're going to be talking about wine and cheese. I have with me...
I'm John Montez. I'm the manager of training and curriculum for Murray's, and I'm going to be talking about the wine side of things.
And I'm Josh Windsor, the associate director of Caves here at Murray's, and I'm going to be talking about the cheese today.
The first wine that we have today is Cava. So this is a Spanish sparkling wine, and even just taking a look at it, you can see it's got very fine little bubbles, kind of a golden hue to it. As you smell it, it's got that nice underripe, really crisp green apple thing going on. It's got a lot of bright citrus fruits in there. What's cool about this wine is this is made with the same technique that champagne is made with. So it's gonna have those fine little bubbles that you find in champagne. It's gonna have a little bit of that breadiness that you get in a good champagne, but these are all Spanish grapes. So you get a little bit of different aromas going on in this wine, and I think it's gonna play really nicely with the cheese that Josh has.
So to pair with the Cava, I selected Hudson flour. Because of that bubbly effervescent, you want a cheese that has a little bit of stickiness, a little tackiness, a little adhesivity. And so your soft ripened bloomies, like your camemberts and your bries, because of this cream line, you get some of that. And if you had it on its own, it would like stick to the top of your mouth, and the bubbles help clear that up. So you can create this beautiful effervescent cycle of like rich mouth coating cheese and bubbly Cava. So John, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How do you, when you are doing wine and cheese, how do you like to pair them? Are you a cheese first, wine second?
I like to go cheese and wine. Ideally, I like to have a little bit in my mouth at the same time just to kind of see how the flavors go together.
Yeah, I call that the milkshake effect, where I just put both of them in, I swirl them around and see if it holds up. So Hudson flour is from our caves. It's a cow's milk cheese, bloomy style, coated in hops and aromatic herbs. And those hops can be a little bit bitter, so it's sometimes a little tough to pair with wines. But this Cava is light and as we've said, effervescent. I don't get a lot of bitterness on it, do you?
No. You know, and what I really love about wines like this is you have that really high acid, which can really help to bring out some of the things that you might not generally taste just in the cheese itself. It kind of highlights some different things. I'm definitely getting a lot more kind of buttery flavors on this cheese, pairing it with the Cava, and then, yeah, those herbs just really explode in flavor.
Yeah, and for me, the herbs are really highlighting the fruity notes in the Cava. I actually thought this was gonna be a terrible pairing when I picked it, but it works really well.
Definitely. Okay, so let's take a look at our second wine here. So just taking a look at it, again, a little bit of that kind of golden hue, this time no bubbles. And if we give it a swirl and a sniff, it's just really beautiful. This is one of Spain's really famous aromatic varietals. This is called Verdejo. So with these more aromatic style wines, this is a wine that's really gonna have a lot of floral things going on, a lot of fruity things going on, but should also be relatively high acid, still have a little bit of that bite and that structure that makes it really great for pairing with younger cheeses, creamier cheeses.
So for this particular pairing, I went with Buttermilk Basque, which is a French Pyrenees sheep milk cheese that we age in our caves in Long Island City for 7 weeks. This is a delicate cheese with like a supple paste, but it has like a rich nutty undertone that I thought would be a nice complement to that high acidity of this wine. So, shall we try?
Let's give it a try.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, I find that sheep milk cheeses often have like a little bit of a sweetness to them that can help like cut through some of those high acid whites.
Yeah, acid is really nice for bringing out these sorts of aromas that you find in sheep's milk cheeses.
So one of the things about this particular cheese is it's a natural rinded cheese, and that rind, you saw that I cut away the top of it, is imparting some like more rustic, earthy notes, and those are gonna get more intense as we try the cheese towards the rind itself. And that may or may not actually pair with the wine. This particular pairing was selected specifically for the big part, the paste of this particular cheese. I'm gonna try it just with a little bit of rind and see if it still holds up.
I think it still holds up. Honestly, my rind wasn't overly earthy, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, it was a little more delicate and subtle than what I was expecting. Sometimes on this cheese, it can be like really, really pungent and like post rainfall wet earth, and that wasn't getting that. And so yeah, I think it still balances nicely.
Yep. All right, so we've got a rosé next. And this is a blend of Grenache and Syrah. This is gonna be pretty classic. Those are grapes that you find in really classic rosés. And this is coming from French Catalonia. And so this is a climate that gets very warm. So we can expect some really ripe fruit aromas on this wine. We can expect it to have a little bit of that coastal kind of salinity in it, and just be overall really refreshing, a really classic rosé. So let's give it a little swirl and a sniff and see what we got. Yeah, beautiful. I mean, just jumping out of the glass there, a lot of like lemon peel, some ripe red fruit. I think this is gonna be really beautiful with our next cheese.
So this is Annelies. This is a raw milk Swiss cheese. It's in what we call an Alpine style. So these cheeses tend to be very elastic. They're pliable. They usually can bend a little bit. They're good melters. They're often characterized by a little bit of nuttiness or meatiness. They're definitely on the savory side of cheeses. The rind is gonna be a little hard. Many people prefer not to eat this. I'm a rind person, so I'm going to totally eat mine, but you do you. And so I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a pairing that I have no idea if it's going to work or not, particularly after trying that wine. Rosés can be in a very wide variety of styles, and that also includes like bitterness. And I've never tried this particular rosé before. So I have a personal pairing principle, which is when in doubt, go to your happy place and pick a cheese that you love. And that way, even if the pairing is terrible, you're still eating a cheese that is delicious. And that's really what eating food is about. So let's see if this holds up.
All right.
I have thoughts.
I actually really love that pairing.
Oh, really?
I didn't expect to. You know, I think, first of all, this is a pretty salty cheese. It's got a good salt sort of to it. It really, I mean, this is one of the things that I always find wine loves, especially some of these more finicky styles, like these lighter bodied rosés and whites, is salty food can be really something that brings out a lot of the aromas in the wine. It can really kind of make those harsher edges of the wine a little bit more gentle. Bitterness is the interesting thing that we have at play here. You know, I think there's probably a little bit of bitterness in the cheese. There's a little bit of bitterness in the wine. Sometimes those can clash. It didn't overly clash for me.
Oh, interesting. I felt like the wine accentuated the saltiness a little bit, and I also like caught a little bit of the acidity of the wine at the back of my throat. But then, like when it did meld, I felt like there was some elevation happening. So jarring at first and pleasant finish for me.
Definitely. As are the best things in life.
Exactly. So we are 2.5 for 3, I think now.
All right. So our next wine is a Montepulciano D'Abruzzo. So this is a great Italian kind of everyday red. It is medium bodied and just kind of one of these wines that have enough structure, enough acid that they can really pair with a lot of different kinds of food. And it's something that is approachable, easy to put out as a table wine, but delicious enough that you can drink it long into the evening. Yeah, really beautiful the way that kind of red and black fruit starts to come out of there. This is a wine that really has that good balance of fruit, not overly ripe. It's not also just kind of sharp and acidic. It's got that really kind of pillowy balance of fruit characteristics. And that's gonna make a really wonderful pairing for our next cheese.
All right, so what I chose for this wine is Cornelia, and you had mentioned how this holds up really well to meats. This is a washed rind cheese, and washed rind cheeses there's a shocking, washed on the outside with a little bit of salt water, and this tends to develop some very distinct meaty notes. Cornelia is a mild version of the wash rind. So if you think about the wash rind family of cheeses, you're in like the Limburger and a Poisse and super stinky cheeses. This tends to be on the less aromatically intense side, but still develops some like distinct meaty notes. For me, it's always like a smash burger around the rind. Let's give it a try. And this is one where you definitely want to try the rind. It's going to add a little bit of textural complexity, and in this case, a little bit of sandiness, but it's really where the flavor is concentrated. So one of the things that jumps out to me is red wines, because of the fuller bodied aspect of it, can sometimes overpower cheese. And so this cheese has like a little more savory oomph to it, and I think it almost matches to the wine, maybe a little short.
Yeah. I mean, I think the cheese really comes out a little bit more kind of right at the end after the wine has done its thing on the palate. Then you get that kind of punch of those sulfur notes. Yeah, really beautiful. So our last wine is a sweet Lambrusco. So this is an Italian sparkling wine. It's a red wine, and you can find these in a whole range of sweetness. This one is just a little bit sweet. So this is a little bit more of a dessert style wine, but should still be nice and light and refreshing. I do just want to say one thing about the glassware. So sparkling wine, typically you'll see it served in flutes. A lot of times if you go to a bar or a restaurant, that'll be served in a flute. For tasting purposes though, flutes actually really aren't that great of a glass. This is an all-purpose wine glass, and you can see it's a much wider mouth that just kind of tapers in. So this is angling all of the aroma to your nose. So if we give it a swirl and even just bring it to your mouth like you're gonna take a sip, you actually get your nose there in the glass. So you get a lot more aroma. I think it's a much better glass for tasting. So as we smell it, a lot of really just like what you would think of as like classic grapey notes in this wine, kind of that like Concord grape, like Welch's grape kind of notes. This is one of the most grapey wines, which I really love. And you know, I expect when I smell something like that I'm going to get that little bit of sweetness like you would in a grape jelly. And so I really like the sweet version. And sweetness plays really well with certain cheeses, especially blue cheeses, which we have today.
So this is Barnstorm Blue. So this is both a blue cheese and a wash rind cheese. So we have a little bit of the wash rind that we saw going on with the Cornelia, and we have the bluing on the interior. So there's a lot of flavor complexity going on in this cheese. And I gave you a little bit of the rind because this is definitely one where you want to have both at the same time, particularly in pairing it with this Lambrusco. What I went with was pairing the sweetness with the blue cheese, because blue cheeses are often associated with dessert wines, and we'll see if the grapiness matches up to some of the notes we get in this blue. This blue is particularly noted for deep chocolate, like coffee notes, and then some meatiness from the rind. So it is very rich and robust. So let's give it a try.
Oh yeah.
That is wild. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, it's just when you take a sip of that wine with it. One of the things I love about this cheese is there's kind of this note of like extra toasted Cheez-Its in there, and this wine really brings it out. I mean, this is the Welch's grape jelly, extra toasted Cheez-Its, your home from school kind of snack that you could only dream of as an adult. Don't drink, kids.
Yeah, there's something like nostalgic and comforting about this, but also there's a complexity that is like surprising and sparks wonder. 2 thumbs up.
So we went through 5 wines and 5 Murray's Cave-aged cheeses. I have to say, if I had a favorite, it was probably the last one. The Lambrusco and the Barnstorm Blue is just so much like a childhood snack, but for adults, which is something I really love.
I'm gonna go with the Cava and Hudson flower. I felt there was a contrasting pairing between the fruitiness of the Cava and the resiny notes from the herbs and hops that was really unexpected and delightful. Thank you for joining us today for And Cheese. If you'd like to purchase any of these cave-aged cheeses, they're available online at murrayscheese.com, or you can come into any of our stores in New York City and ask them for a cave-aged cheese. Wine's not included. That is a very good wine.